But after grueling surgery and treatment, she was overjoyed when 6 months later she was given the all-clear. Her ordeal was over and she could relax and enjoy life with her now husband Ben. However, just a few years later the unthinkable happened when, after finding a lump in her breast, Rhiannon was diagnosed with cancer for the second time. It was like lightning had struck twice, says Rhiannon, who lives in Hatfield, Hertfordshire. I was in disbelief. I never thought I'd have to hear those horrible words, "You have cancer again." It was like lightning had struck twice. Rhiannon Bradley, the 32-year-old teacher's shock was compounded when doctors told her the cancers were completely unrelated. Before Rhiannon was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, she says, "Life couldn't have been better. I had just started my career as a teacher and moved in with my boyfriend. Life was great," says Rhiannon, who met civil servant Ben, 36, in 2007. When she found a small lump in her neck in August 2008, Rhiannon assumed it would go away. But when it was still there in January 2009, she went to the doctor, who discovered a tumor the size of a tennis ball and diagnosed her with thyroid cancer. Rhiannon Bradley was diagnosed with thyroid cancer at just 24. When they said the word cancer, the first thing I asked was, "Am I going to die?" says Rhiannon. "I had felt tired, but never in a million years did I think I would have cancer." Following her diagnosis, Rhiannon was immediately scheduled for radioactive iodine treatment as well as surgery to remove her thyroid gland. Thankfully the treatment went well and in June she was given the all-clear. However, when doctors told her that the treatment would affect her fertility, Rhiannon was devastated. "They said it would be hard to get pregnant and that I could also expect an early menopause," she says. "I was sad and angry and felt so young to be having such a big conversation. I'd always wanted to be a mom. It was really upsetting." Throughout everything, Rhiannon says Ben kept her going. "He was the biggest support, kind, loving and loyal. He was there for me throughout it all," she says. Getty Stock. A few years later, Rhiannon was diagnosed with cancer for the second time in August 2011. Rhiannon and Ben got married and in 2012 they started trying for a baby. "Nothing happened, but after what the doctors had said, we weren't surprised," she says. So in 2014 the couple began IVF. "It was emotionally draining and I was angry at the cancer all over again. After all this time it was still affecting my life," she says. But in August, after just one round of IVF, they got the news they had been dreaming of. Rhiannon was pregnant. "We were over the moon. I had horrendous morning sickness, but I didn't care. I was going to be a mom," she says. And then in April 2015, after a straightforward labor, their daughter Saren was born. "She was healthy and everything was fine. We were so happy." But shortly after Saren's second birthday in May this year, Rhiannon found a hard, marble-shaped lump in her left breast. She made an appointment to see her GP the same day. Thursday, October 6, 2016. Discharge, rash or dimpling. "These are the symptoms to check for. They referred me to a breast clinic and after 9 biopsies came those words again. We're sorry, it's cancer," says Rhiannon. "They told me it was unrelated to my first cancer and probably triggered by increased estrogen levels during pregnancy." Rhiannon says being diagnosed a second time was even worse because this time she was a mum. "Last time it was just me, but now I had a baby. I felt guilty, inflicting my illness on her. I knew what was coming and how much it was going to disrupt our lives," she says. "There was a lot of crying. I held my daughter as she fell asleep and thought, I don't want to say goodbye. I've only just met you." Thankfully, doctors had good news for the family. "I had the most common form of breast cancer, a tumor that grows in the milk duct. It was treatable." In early June, Rhiannon began chemotherapy, which came to an end at the start of October. "Next up will be a lumpectomy, followed by radiotherapy. I'm hoping that will be it," she says. Getty Stock. After one round of IVF, Rhiannon got the news she had been dreaming of. "She was pregnant. Some days I was too ill to get up when my daughter was crying. I couldn't cuddle her because it was painful. But we held hands a lot." Yet despite all she has been through, Rhiannon is determined to stay positive and is now looking forward to the future. "I feel very lucky that I'm going to be okay and I can't wait to get back to normal. It has made me realize how precious each day is and I treasure every minute I get to spend with my family." Rhiannon is supporting Macmillan Cancer Support's World's Biggest Coffee Morning. It's not too late to get involved. See macmillan.org.uk. Coffee.